On the way to the meeting, the car's brakes failed and the diplomat died in an accident. The state thought it was a contract killing and needed to investigate the case. The assignment was given to the best agent, Twilight. The target is the head of the People's Unity Party. His shady activities must be investigated. In order to do that, Twilight needs to have a family and a child, in order to get as close to the target as possible. This was not something that Twilight was prepared for. The agent was given an apartment. He is now a Lloyd Forger psychiatrist, a happy family man. Twilight needs a baby for the operation. Just for that, he went to an orphanage. He was offered Anya, a very bright little girl. On top of that, she can also read minds. Now he has to fix up the house and forge documents. The main thing is not to attract attention. And it would also be nice to get to know Anya better and become friends with her. After all, they have to live together for a month. It is not easy to manage a child. A spy has never had to deal with children before. He has to send her to an elite school and assess her abilities first. Lloyd needs to go on business. The little one wants to go with him, but she only gets in his way. He meets with the man who provided the spy with the answers for the exams. The agent hid all the equipment in a safe, the code to which Anya had no trouble finding out. Spoiling herself, the girl accidentally sent a signal to the enemy. The mercenaries were already waiting at Lloyd's house. A couple of deft moves solved the situation. Anya was kidnapped. And then the Dusk was knocked out. Anya ended up in the hands of the villains, where they brought Twilight as well. But in fact it was a setup. He decided not to involve the child in the mission. After all, his main goal was to create a world where people wouldn't cry. He quickly dispatched his enemies. On his way home, he met Anya. The day of the exam, which the girl successfully Nijika invites everyone to a meeting. There was a problem. Hidori was very afraid to go into the room alone, because everyone would stare at her. So, okay, we'll just have to wait for someone. The girls decide to play bungee jumping. It fell out chattering about school. Turns out Rio is also a loner, but the thing is, she likes it. Now, chatter about music. Nijika likes Japanese punk. Rio likes Saudi Arabian hits. And Hidori has a youthfulness complex, so songs about joyless youth are the best. Next, some talk about gigs. The band needs to find a female vocalist to make them happier. Ticket quotas. This is to fill the hall. The profits from the tickets are split between the band and the club. If there is no quota, the band has to cover all the losses. You have to make money for the concert. The job already sounds scary. Goto has already thought through the worst-case scenario. Then she was offered to work together at this club. For the sake of not working, Hidori is willing to intentionally catch a cold. But she failed. The encouragement from Nijiki gave her an energy boost. When the loner wanted to enter the club, she met the part-time manager, Nijiki's sister. The workday began. The drummer gave a tour. Hidori was put behind the bar. Panic. A group of guys gathered at the club. While the concert was going on, one could relax. This was what Hidori dreamed of, exactly the kind of atmosphere she wanted to see at her concerts. With that thought, she looked the guest in the eyes for the first time. But they are everywhere. Ghosts, entities, demons. And so he too began. After her sick leave, it was time to get back to life. At lunchtime, Goto was alone again. She was fantasizing about her future life as she heard talk of a girl singer. She owed it to herself to get her into the band. She was just perfect. Lucky. Ikuyo was the first to talk. Now all that's left to do is invite her into the group. That's not easy at all. With embarrassment, Goto cowered in a dark corner. Sadness, longing, sadness, nothingness. Her sad song was appreciated by Kita. Here's a chance to invite her in. It turns out she can't play the guitar at all. So Kita asks to become Goto's student. They practice at the club. As it happens, she is the same former guitarist who left the band. Now she wanted to make amends. Kita accidentally lowered Goto's self-esteem. New work day. Kita really wants to get close to Rio, so she joined the band. And so another day went by like that. Kita didn't want to stay in the group, but the loner convinced her not to. The group is now one more member. The training is difficult and Kita's guitar playing is hard, but she's still making progress. He was hoping to run, but a balloon grabbed him. Kazuki's brother decided to go on a foray for food. Mom went outside, because she couldn't sit like that anymore. Kazuki was left alone. So now Terumi knocks on Kazuki's friend's window and tries to lure her out. Then her brother knocks, Kazuki decides to open. Keith is getting better and better. The second meeting of the club, how do we become like a real band? Nijika came up with the band's merch. Harnesses. Kita became the social media minister. Rio has already thought out the whole financial plan. Singleton has to write the lyrics for the song. And that's harder than it seemed. You just have to write, like the other bands, something extroverted. Nothing came to mind. We need promotional materials for advertising. The photo should touch the heart, reflecting each participant. Let's go find a location. After a million locations, they finally found something suitable. But the photos don't come out so well. A loner was asked to start a social networking site, and it almost killed her. It's not worth the risk. Keitha suggested a jump photo. And there she is, the perfect. Yay! The paycheck is here. All the money needs to be spent on the band. Everything's too expensive. Do I really have to sell my kidney? But that's okay, Rio wrote great music. But the manager won't let her have a concert. Nijika was very upset. Lonely said that she had to hold an audition before the concert. There is only a week to prepare. Rehearsals are in full swing. Hours on end, one song at a time, song after song. As usual, the loner was on her way home when Nijika caught up with her and gave her a Coke. They had a heart-to-heart talk and ran off. Audition day. The whole night before, Goto had wondered what she was in the band for. Who should I give tickets to if the only people I know are my mother and father? Mom bailed Hitori out and offered to call her friends. But Goto said she had lots of friends of her own. All the girls had already sold their tickets, so what to do? Suddenly some girl fell at her feet. She urgently needed help with her hangover. It turned out to be some merry drunk. And so Goto was about to go, when she noticed that she had a guitar. She turned out not to be such a freak. The girl plays the bass, which, by the way, she had forgotten in the bar. Run! Alcohol is not a problem for her, it's a cycle of happiness. Here's the moment of the ticket offer. But instead they decide to do a street concert, the coolest way to give away tickets. But they don't have the equipment, the drunk has decided everything. It's just a shock to Goto. It's going to be something. While her friends wondered where Goto was, she was tearing up the street with her new acquaintance. The doubts began again, but the audience dispelled them. Here it is, an easy and charming game. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And now the tickets are sold out. Well, it's time to go, and there was one more ticket, which was taken by a drunkard. It was amazing. Goto got so carried away she missed the rehearsal. That's okay, she still has time to catch up. To keep the whole library in his head. Coco tried to stop Goro somehow, but nothing worked. Suddenly a lamp fell off the. Kita and Nijika went to visit Hitori. It was a very hot day. They go for t-shirt designs for the concert. Rio couldn't come because her grandmother was sick. Okay, she was just lazy. Goto was very prepared for the meeting. The greeting was quite original. The girls did not come empty-handed. The room was very cool. There were also a bunch of copies of a common picture. The little sister burned the whole office. Hitori made barley tea. Sis and her doggy had already captured the attention of her girlfriends. It's time to draw designs for t-shirts. Kita happened to mention the sports festival. It broke Goto's heart. She remembered all the horrors of the sports festival. The parents came over and fed the girls delicious food. Oh, food is the best cure for stress. The family had already become very friendly with their friends. Instead of working, they played, ate, and watched movies all day. Rio was at it again with his jokes. While everyone was distracted, Goto came up with a cool design, almost cool. On her head, Hitori told. The amulets didn't help. What will happen to the concert? No one would come in this weather. But the alcoholic tough girl came, at least for the alcohol. The girls from the street concert came after her. At least someone came, we have to play anyway. The performance begins. Participants make mistakes because of excitement. People are not really interested in this performance. Like the first pancake, the first song is just as bad. Goto can't afford to fail. She started to burn. The band adjusted to her. That's better. That's more like it. Come on. Burn, you're the bugs. Yay, rock. Well played. Time to celebrate. The drunken bassist's name is Kikuri, by the way. After such a performance, Lonely is tired. I could use a bite to eat. This beer house is a cool place. Oh my god, Rio complimented Kita. This is happiness. We need to start earning money from the guitar as soon as possible. But you can't just think about money all the time, it kills the dream. The manager used to be in a band. Tsukiko is a novice photographer, but she already knows how to raise money. She takes pictures of guys from school and sells them to girls. Tomi, from the disciplinary committee, confiscated Tsukiko's photos. Yamazaki, a senior in high school, asked Tsukiko to take a picture for him of a girl. That girl turned out to be Tomi. She got her talking and let her take her picture, but it was all a cunning plan because the teacher was watching. When Tomi's pictures came back, they showed a monster in addition to her. Tsukiko has spread. The go-to class is getting ready for the festival. They're going to put on all the girls-made costumes. Oh no! But you can play with the band on stage. We have to write an entry form. Goto woke up already in the infirmary. If Akita hadn't noticed the application, she would have definitely insisted on performing. Goto told the manager about the idea. And she told Majika, she supported Goto. It's going to be great. We have to think about it, it would be cool, but so scary. Maybe it's all just silly stuff. Keitha put in a request for a performance of the Jugs. Let's have a great concert. Single doesn't really like it, it's so scary. It was he who forged the swords for all the Shinigami. Kurosaki was kicked out of the palace, and he came to Ikumi. His father took him from there. He doesn't know anything about himself at all. Kurosaki isn't a Shinigami or an ordinary person, his mother was a quencher. His father decided to tell his mother's story. The Shinigami sent their dai in Naruki, and Captain Shirbua must deal with it. Rumor has it that past Shinigami died in the rain. Kurosagi's mother had strict foster parents as a child. Captain Shirbua decided to lure in an assassin Shinigami. And he baited a black void. He attacked the captain, and Kurosagi's mother sensed it. At this time the fight continued, and then the captain realized that it wasn't a blank, but a Shinigami. Quincy came to the captain's aid. Together they defeated the monster. Are you ready? Then let's go. The first song is a buzz kill, it's great. The audience loved it. Now the second song. Hidori doesn't know what's going on with the guitar, the strings have broken. The strings are jammed, her solo's coming up, what to do? But Goto was able to pull it off, that's it, my girl. The crowd was just blown away. That was super. Hoo-hoo. The microphone was given to Goto, and with excitement she ran around and jumped into the audience. No one caught her, though. That got people even more excited. Now we could celebrate. Since Daddy's guitar is broken, we can buy a new one. We go to a music store. Ryo decided to show off in the store. Hidori sees one guitar, but her embarrassment takes over. With Kita's encouragement, she bought the instrument after all. So the fair is over. There are lots of great concerts, funny cases, and awesome music to come. Strange lately. It's all Soichi's curse. The cat has become so nasty and mean, just like his new master. Suddenly he started electrocuting himself, spewing out a huge bolt of lightning, and then Korin was back to his old self. Ichi has him cornered, from which there is no. Now it is time for Kurosaki to go back to the palace and create his own sword. Captains whose bankai have been stolen must train from scratch. They need to become stronger than their enemies and without the bankai. Meanwhile, the boys have moved on, to the process of recasting the sword. It's time to dance. Or rather, to warm up, but not the dance floor, but the furnace. Now to the process itself, it is not an easy one. This Asachi was a blank that is part of Kurosaki and now it has become his weapon. When Kurosaki fought King Yahweh, he reminded him of someone he knew. He appeared to be the source of the Quincy deep within Kurosaki. So was he a friend or an enemy? Always when Kurosaki was on the brink of death, he was saved by the empty inside of him. Zangetsu couldn't let him become a Shinigami, he didn't want the guy to suffer, but he wouldn't give up and wouldn't back down from his goal. Then he taught him everything, now it's time to leave Ichigo. He used to use only part of his power, but now he can fight with all his might.